What is going on, guys? Good morning. Good morning.
Away from our first data point since the government shut down September CPI. Did we know how much we would miss all those
numbers the data? No.
That we do.
Feeling a bit of a
I know.
symptom?
Yeah, we are. We're jonesing for some actual government data, and we're going to get it today. The future is ahead of that. It's been a positive week. I don't know if it's AI or earnings have been pretty good, but for whatever reason, the worst case scenario has not played out. And we got nervous about a week or two ago with the China resumption of that. Look at treasuries right now. I think we are. This could change. Rick will tell us about that. He is standing by, Rick Santelli, that is, at the CME. You're excited, Rick?
Yeah, excited isn't the word. The market should be excited, too. Here's our late but coming out September read on the Consumer Price Index. Headline number up 0.3, 1/10 cooler than both rearview mirror and what we were expecting. And if we look at the stripping out of food and energy known as core, it comes in also a bit less than expected, up 0.2. We were expecting up 0.3. Our last look was up 0.3. Here's the Moneyball numbers. Year over year, 3%. And even though it's less than the 3.1 we were expecting, it's hotter than 2.9. And after all, it's got a 3 handle. And if we look at CPI year over year ex food and energy, it also comes in at 3%. We're also expecting 3.1, but last look was 3.1, so it cooled a bit. So we're seeing interest rates move down and stocks move up. You may be asking why. An easy answer, because it's less than expectations. Is it less than the Fed's target of 2%? No. Which, in my opinion, that fact will rise above all the issues of the day at some point. But yes, we do see rates moving a bit lower. Ultimately, this is a very important number because the market, without any data points, has been pretty much viewed on the notion that the labor market is slowing, and that really is a good thing if you're looking for the Fed cycle to continue its rate cuts. Now, how does this figure in? I can't speak for Fed officials, but if you really have an agnostic view and you look at these numbers, the last thing you think about is we're closing in on the Fed's target. Joe and the gang, back to you.
In a nutshell, that's exactly what people said leading up to this, Rick. It's going to be higher inflation, but it's not going to be high enough to cause the Fed to change any of its plans. And that's what. And we saw something even better. Even if it was 3.1, I think that would have been the case. But even a 10th, I mean, these aren't huge moves, but definitely saw an uptick in the markets, in the equity markets, Rick.
Absolutely. And Joe, you know, when I look at stocks, most of the guests, don't they say, wow, it's getting a little frothy, it's getting a little frosty? My theory is, my epiphany is that the only honest metric we're getting about the U.S. economy now, in my opinion, is the stock market. Because I think all the professionals, I think they look at many things through the prism that's affected politically. And I think a lot of the weakness that we see showing up comes from surveys. And now I have a huge mistrust of surveys. You know what I trust? Credit card activity. And it's going pretty well. Wall Street Journal talks today about it's up over 7.5% year over year. It's outpacing inflation. And guess what, Joe, when you go to a restaurant, Becky, when you go to a restaurant, you get your bill. Doesn't it say you get a discount if you pay cash? My restaurant sources say that a lot of people are doing that. There's another group that's spending that doesn't even probably get counted.
Well, and the big issue, too, tips, whether they're in cash or electronic, because with the new tax legislation, if you get tipped electronically, it counts up differently than if you're tipped by cash.
Right.
That's interesting.
Rick, the stock market has been telling us what to believe ever since Liberation Day. The stock market said this is not going to be the end of the world. Like so many like almost unanimously, business reporters that tariffs were the end of the world. And here we are, up, what are we up, 36% since then? Right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Rick Santelli. Join us now. Oh, you're staying with us, Rick. Good. Michael
I'm not going anywhere, Joe.
All right. Good. Michael Contopoulos, Richard Bernstein Advisors, Deputy Chief Investment Officer David Seif.
What is going on, guys? So what I was saying, if you guys were following, well, obviously if you're in the Discord, but also if you were following me on Twitter, what I said was that no way CPI was going to come in hot. And the reason that I said that, if you think about it, right, the last BLS chief, by the way, good to see everybody. I'm traveling right now, but good to see everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. So what I was saying was Trump had fired the previous BLS chief, right? The BLS, Bureau of Labor and Statistics, they are responsible for inflation data. They're responsible for employment data. And with the government shutdown, we haven't gotten any data, right? We haven't gotten any data for weeks. But there was an announcement that the BLS would release. There was an announcement that the BLS would release inflation data, and that they would release inflation data on Friday before the Fed meeting next week. So the Fed meeting is next week, and BLS said, even though there is a government shutdown, this data here is going to be released. Now, if you remember, look at this idiot, guys. Chuck 4 options. This guy's going to get flamed in a second. Don't worry, bro. I'm going to do some opposition research on you. For those people that are in the Discord.
Hello, everybody. My name is Charles, but you can call me Chuck. I'm from Philly. I'm 35 years old. And I want to introduce you into trading. And here's a few markets in which you can trade.
He said, I want to introduce you into trading. Motherfucker, you don't even know how to speak English. Why are you talking shit to me? And you're wearing a Pink Bunny t-shirt.
Trade today.
I have the power!
I was competing in a World of Warcraft World Championship tournament, and he invited me to stay with him. And he was going to school for
what is this bullshit content, bro? This is the intro video you want people to see?
The Forex. And
you need to fire your barber, motherfucker.
He introduced me to it, and it just opened my world into money itself. And then later on, like, yo, you can make money. I went immediately or even know what it is or how it functions and works.
Let's see his explanations
a lot of
options.
You hear people talk about real estate. And real estate is an awesome asset to have and an awesome thing to take advantage of, but you also need a lot of money to take advantage of that. And a lot of people don't have that. So when it comes to budgeting and saving in your own personal life, you can put that money in the stock market. And when you do that, you're going to see financial freedom.
All right, I'm just going to give you a word of advice, bro. You need to read more books. Your vocabulary is extremely limited.
Right around the
You're trying to think off the top of your head what to say in the shitty intro video, and you can't even find the words to come up with.
corner. Okay? You can love your job, you can love your hobbies, you can enjoy all those things, but at the end of the day, but put it in the markets, okay? Okay, so
all right, not only do you need to fire a barber, you need to fire your cameraman. I'm not even wasting time on this guy. It's not even that interesting. So what I was saying was that the BLS chief was fired. The last BLS chief was fired by Trump, right? And he was fired by Trump, or she was fired by Trump, sorry, because of the way that they were compiling employment numbers. Remember that there was that revision to the employment numbers that came in that showed 900,000 jobs weren't actually created. So that BLS chief was fired, and a more Trump-friendly conservative BLS chief, who's now the acting BLS chief, was hired. they hadn't released data in so long because of the government shutdown. But then they announced that the CPI would come in on Friday, right? And so I said, do you really think that the acting BLS chief that Trump appointed after firing the previous one will risk releasing a bad CPI report? So that's why I thought that the CPI would come in line, and it came in at 3% versus expected 3.1%. Now, for those of us that go to the grocery store, for those of us that live in everyday life, we know that these numbers are bullshit, right? Like, you see the price of beef, the price of yogurt, you see the price of most things in the grocery store go up, but yet they're telling you that inflation is coming down. So to me, the numbers that are actually on that the BLS releases for CPI, it doesn't really reflect reality, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that CPI coming in line means that prices are in fact dissipating. I'm saying that whatever they're going to release is going to come in line, regardless of whether it's congruent with everyday market prices. I hope that makes sense. So with that said, CPI came better than expected at 3% versus 3.1%. And we saw an immediate pop-up in the market. Now, the stocks that I was looking at that I gave you guys in the videos, in the recent videos, there were a few stocks that I was looking at, right? I was looking at Amazon, which hasn't yet broken out of this channel here. I was looking at obviously Meta, which looks like it might be on the verge of breaking out, even though there's earnings next week. But then there were some of the growth stocks that we were looking at. So CIFR, if you look at these growth stocks here, specifically the ones that are in the data center space, right? And all these Bitcoin mining stocks, CIFR, CLSK, BITF, Mara, they have all shifted to because of the high demand for data centers, right? They have all shifted to now turning their Bitcoin mining rigs into AI data centers. To me, that's more hype than reality. We're still going to take advantage by jumping on the stock's trend in and of itself, but the actual material ability for these Bitcoin mining rigs to just transform into AI data centers overnight, that to me is unrealistic, right? Because the equipment required for mining is not the same equipment that's going to be suitable for AI data centers. Anyway, but if you take a look at CIFR, right, 21 EMA, if you take a look at BITF, it's at the 21 EMA bounce. If you take a look at IREN, this is the one that we sent out just a few days ago. I'll show it to you in the Discord. And then I have a surprise huge announcement in a second. But this is IREN right here. Sent this out on October 21st. And we saw IREN with almost 8% day yesterday, and it looks like it's up almost 8% today, or 7%. Yeah, 8% pre-market. Again, bouncing off the 21 EMA. The reason that I chose IREN is because of the declining volume here. You see all of the buy volume on the way up and then declining volume on the way down. There is also bullish divergence between the RSI, which got slammed to the 50 zone. And you can see here, this 50 zone is a rather important one on IREN for this current trend, right? I'm not a big believer in IREN or CIFR or BITF long term, but I think that these will have, they will continue the trend and continue to expand the AI bubble. So yeah, in terms of the indices with regards to, I'm just going to turn CNBC off right now. In terms of the indices with regards to CPI, you do have a manipulative move up that can be faded. So what ends up happening with these days is a lot of inexperienced people, and rightfully so, like I can appreciate it, but a lot of inexperienced traders will come on here and say, why is the market going up? Why is the market going down? Ignoring the fact that you do have manipulative legs throughout the day, right? So during the release of data, you have a manipulative leg, which is this 8:30 candle here, because the data was released at 8:30. And this will likely get faded. Now, NQ or ES will likely take out the 8:30 low. So you will see NQ or ES likely trade back into here between now and when the market opens. But it doesn't mean that the market is reacting negatively to a good CPI, right? So don't ignore the fact that manipulative moves exist. And we can even manipulate lower. We will see whether we get confirmation here, but we can even... Let me see where the RTH would be. Do we even have a large RTH gap? Yeah, so between the close of yesterday and where we open today, you're going to have a large RTH gap. RTH stands for regular trading hours, right? So you're going to have a large RTH gap that can get retraced into. So I don't want you guys to react and be like, why is the market going down? Why is the market going up? That's how the market behaves during data-driven volatility, right? But these market highs and lows will likely get taken. So the market opens in 45 minutes. Yeah. Now, before I get into the metals, because it's so funny, I didn't realize that there were that many, what was I going to say? That there were that many silver fans. So if you watch my last video and I said that I expect silver to go down, I did not realize that that was a controversial take. So many people in the comments, if you go back and watch that video, wrote either about how crazy it was that I said that, or how idiotic it was, or how offensive it was. I did not know that people were that gung-ho about silver. And I would just caution you, if you are a silver aficionado or silver fan, I would caution you against that. Gold is very different. Gold, and I'll show you why the difference now. But the surprise that I have for you, I just want to announce this. I'll announce it a couple more times before the stream is over. But I'm doing a 2-day live options and futures trading accelerator, November 9th and 10th. This is absolutely free, but you will have to register if you want to get in. But I'm going to be teaching this over the course of a weekend. We're going to go for hours each day, but I'm going to be focusing one day on options and one day on futures. So if you wanted to learn how to trade options, even if you think you know how to trade options, how to avoid pitfalls like picking the wrong strike price, expiration, not focusing on IV, getting burned when the stock price moves in your favor. If you wanted to learn how to day trade options, which a lot of people don't really know how to do, they don't know how to manage their positions either. They don't know where to enter, where to exit, right? Day trading options is completely different than swing trading options. But if you wanted to learn about that and you want to learn how to trade futures, which a lot of people are confused by, but they want to do it because they know that there is a lucrative opportunity in the preciseness of day trading futures, join this accelerator here. And if you're in the Discord, I'll post this link in there. So don't worry about that. But if you're not in the Discord, click on the link that's in the pinned comment on YouTube. And if you're watching this on X, head over to the YouTube. I'll post an X post about this, but head over to the YouTube and click on the first pinned comment. You'll see it in there, but you have to sign up if you want to be a part of it. It's absolutely free. I suggest you join, especially if you want to take your trading to the next level in the new year and change some of the bad habits and fill some of the gaps in knowledge that you have about options and futures. All right. So I did not know that there were that many silver aristocrats and that would be a controversial opinion. But the reason that I say watch out for silver is not gold, is because if you look historically, right, silver is one of the most manipulated things on the market because it does tend to catch a bid when the metals overall catch a bid, but it does not have the liquidity that gold does. So if you look in the 80s, right, when the Hunt brothers manipulated silver, they pushed it to 50, almost 50. You could see that it tanked 92%. And between 1980, it took 31 years before silver saw that high again. And in 2011, it skyrocketed to 50 again. It dropped 80%. And it took 14 years before silver saw that high again. And now it's at 50, right? Silver is not gold. If you look at gold, yes, it is prime. It is prone to have lost decades. So if you look at gold in 2011, for instance, it did not hit this high again until 2020. But the thing with gold is it hits a high, retraces, makes a new high, retraces, makes a new high, retraces, makes a new high. Whereas silver tends to hit that $50 level and tank, and it doesn't see $50 for decades. Then it hits $50 again and tanks and doesn't see $50 again for decades. It's not the same as gold, right? So gold tends to rally, tank for a long time, rally to a new high, tank for a long time, rally to a new high. And silver tends to do this. That's it. So if you are a silver aristocrat, do your research, man. Silver is, in my opinion, is not what you think it is. It is not gold. It is not the same as gold. So, that along with the technicals on the shorter time frames, like the daily and below. And then if you take a look at the data, it's pretty clear that when silver weekly RSI, right, when it exceeds 86, here are the results. Right? You see this in 87, 2004, 2006, 2011, 2020. Here are the results. It tanks for a long time by a wide margin. So the average drop on silver 6 months later is almost 20%, right? So do what you like, but I would watch out. Gold is a different story. It's still prone to lost decades, meaning all the people that are lining up outside of barbershops, all the people that are lining up outside of pawn shops and buying the top, I think they're going to get burned for a very long time. They will eventually see their money back, but they're going to get burned for a long time. Dude, this is the thing. People always try to tell me about the use cases of silver. You are mixing usefulness with price, right? It's like me saying, like, say that the price of Kleenex, and I promise we'll get into some trades in a second, but say that the price of Kleenex jumped to $100 a box, right? And I'm telling you that Kleenex is not worth $100 a box. And someone comes and says, but Kleenex has a lot of uses. Don't you think it's valuable? What does that have to do with it being priced ridiculously? Right? So yes, silver is used in some components, right? It's not as used as something like copper or aluminum or steel or whatever. It is used. It doesn't mean that any price is now a foregone conclusion or that silver is worth any price just because it's usable. There is still a price that's too high, even if it has many uses. Like, would you pay $100 for a box of Kleenex? No. Would you say Kleenex is useless? No. Don't conflate usefulness and price. If you're on YouTube and you can't find the link, I don't know what to tell you, bro. It's literally right here. It's the pinned fucking comment. All right. Yeah, I think we're going to get paid when the market opens on iron. I think we're going to get paid big time. Z for prime minister of what country? What country should I be prime minister of? I would love to hear this. What I'm waiting for on NQ and ES, guys, is I'm waiting for one of the data lows or highs to be taken. Since we manipulated to the upside, I would not be surprised if we manipulated down to data lows first. Argentina? Doesn't Argentina have a president? I don't think Argentina has a prime minister. Iran? What's your favorite news source? For what type of news? X? I like following independent journalists on X. Is that hat gray? No, it's navy blue. Maybe the light is off. I thought you guys liked Carney. No? He's already lost your confidence? He seemed like a level-headed guy. I don't know. Give Carney some time. I think Trudeau did a lot of damage. But I honestly, I thought most Canadians thought, like, regardless of where they fall on the right-left spectrum, I thought most Canadians like Carney. I may be wrong. I don't know. Platform to trade futures in Canada. First of all, join the accelerator. We'll go over all that. And second of all, if you're just starting out with futures, I would advise you to trade prop. I would advise you to trade a prop firm because you don't burn your hard-earned capital trying to learn. Whether you're learning options or futures, you will likely burn thousands of dollars trying to learn. But with a prop firm, you don't have to. What do you think, RGTI? I think you should ask me a better question. We might be getting a CISD here below this order block on NQ. And I might venture to say that we could drop to data low first. Do you have a store? I'm serious about wanting a sweatshirt. Oh, this guys, I swear to God, I'm not bullshitting you. I'm the worst person when it comes to like promotion and social media, etc. I don't even know where my merch store is. I don't even know how to buy these. I'm gonna have to ask my team, but I promise I will do something for Black Friday. We will re-release these hoodies. These, by the way, are champion hoodies. They're pretty sick. It's my favorite hoodie, but I don't even know how to buy it. Hire somebody to do it. That's a problem. I have someone that does it. I'm just not good at managing that shit. Partly is my fault, because a lot of times my team will hit me up and say, "Oh, we need an answer on this. We need a decision on this. And I'm just like, leave me alone. I just want to trade." I think we might get a move down. The market is actually, after CPI, a lot of times you'll see it reacting fast. It's reacting slow. Now, the market opens in 29 minutes. Bro, you are too old to buy into the champion brand being cool and not TJ Maxx quality. Sometimes, like, there will be someone who leaves a comment and I just can't imagine this person actually trading. Like, the comments are so low IQ that I cannot imagine this person trading. Like, they're so starved for attention because they're not getting it at home from their wife or their family that they want to come on here and like talk shit to me because it makes them feel better about themselves. But at the end of the day, bro, you're watching me. I would never watch you. And I'm not saying that on some arrogant shit. If you were providing something and I was watching you, I wouldn't sign on to then talk shit. I would sign on to learn from someone who knows something about a topic better than I do. But you're so frustrated in your life at home that you then want to sign on to talk shit about another dude. I don't get it. I really don't understand that mindset. It's weird to me. It's weird behavior. It's like weird beta behavior. Appreciate Hui. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Hui or Hui Bui. Thank you for the $5 super chat. If you are going to send money, donate to St. Jude instead. But I appreciate it. Thank you. And if you have a question, would be appropriate. I might short NQ here. I might short NQ down to data low. Oh, that risk reward is too good. I don't like that NQ swept that, ES didn't. We actually did not get a CISD. For some reason, I thought we did. And then I'm looking at this and I'm like, wait, we didn't get a CISD. Risk reward, I mean, it's still 15. It's only 15 points. But that is for sure a front run because like if you look at this, we didn't take out, we swept this as liquidity, right? So there's bullish divergence here. This actually is not an A plus short. The risk reward is there because it's 15 points. If we get to data low, I mean, this is like an 8-to-1 trade. But this is not, the fact that we swept this makes it risky that we go higher, but the risk reward is too good. The market opens in 24 minutes, right? Yeah. Yeah, that I should have waited to get a CISD. It could still happen, but right now that is a liquidity sweep of an internal low, and ES didn't take it. If ES comes down here and takes this, then I think it's for sure a short. By the way, 2-to-1 on this would be like all the way up here. Yeah, the fact that this happened makes it more prone, not more likely, but more prone that data high gets taken. I should have waited for a CISD. Gold today can see a retracement up. So we're still in this daily fair value gap here. And I think that we can retrace up into this one. Yeah. I think it's better to wait for a CISD here. Are you bullish on CIFR? In the short term, yes. I have large fund and gold ETF. Should I hold or sell? I have no idea who you are, bro. You should do what you want. It's crazy that you have a large fund and you're asking a stranger on the internet what to do. That's crazy to me. Do you plan to short silver soon? I already shorted it yesterday, bro. And the day before. What would you buy for 2% of your portfolio right now? I'm already in everything I want to be in. But it was iron, which was 49 just yesterday, and it's currently trading at 60. What the Powell said? I don't know. Powell didn't talk today. Why don't you look into Canadian stocks? Why do I care about Canadian stocks? I live in America. I will trade some foreign stuff like ASML. I have a pretty big holding in that, and that's a Dutch company. SPY, up or down? Right. Why this dude attitude so negative? What did I say that was negative, bro? If someone talks shit to me and I respond, how am I being negative? I will never understand that. Amazon too cheap to ignore? Yeah, for a long-term perspective, I agree. 1000% I agree. Okay. Let's see if this confirms a short down to data low. Yeah, for an investment, I think Amazon and Meta for sure are cheap. If we close below this, Rashid says, joined the Discord a few weeks ago and it's been a dope time. Hell yeah. Welcome aboard. SoFi, I think you're too late. Any promo codes or discount for full subscription? Not at the moment, but thank you for asking. Regine, what's going on? What is your price target on Amazon? All-time high. Can you explain how you confirm? So there will be two confirmations here. If we get a close below this fair value gap, then we will likely go down. But like I said, right now, the fact that we still have bullish divergence here and we swept this internal low, I think there's a higher chance that we retest there's a higher chance that we retest 830 high. But let's see. How to sign up? Bro, it's pretty obvious. So this right here, ES made a higher low and NQ made a lower low. What is your calls expiry on Amazon? What are you talking about, dude? What calls on Amazon are you talking about? Let's see what happens here. The market opens in 13 minutes. Come on, pick a direction, bro. I don't like the risk to reward on a long at premium. Any thoughts about BMNR stock? Good to buy. It will be a momentum name once crypto runs. What do you think about Beyond stock? I don't think about Beyond stock. Dude, you look like you just woke up. Yeah, woke up with your mother. Morning traveling trader. I was always the only thinly trader pre-market volume all-time high. What are you talking about, bro? What? I was always, though, the thinly trader pre-market. What? Can you share the 12 indicators you use? I don't use indicators. All right. I want to see if we're going to confirm a short. I think the risk to reward on a short is a lot better than a long. But it hasn't confirmed yet. Do you follow the last 3 candles? What does that even mean? No. Strafe. Dude. The long, because we have bullish divergence, the long is what is the most likely scenario to take data high. I'm saying that the risk to reward on a long to data high is 1.4, right? If a short confirms to data low, which we haven't yet confirmed a short, right? But if a short confirms to data low, the risk to reward is much better. I'm not saying that that means going a short. I'm saying that even though I think from here, because of this bullish divergence, we will likely take data high first. I don't like the risk to reward on a long. That's what I'm saying. I hope that makes sense. Karan, yeah, I think at market open we sweep the 830, the data high. Where do you think Dell is headed? We've been in Dell for a long time. I think Dell goes to all-time highs. SPY going down at open. Okay. The indices will likely take 830 high. Don't know how many times I have to say that. What price would you start to buy Netflix? This is a great question. Thank you for finally a decent question. I think Netflix here is at support. And I think that based on historical valuations, this is a decent DCA level for Netflix, right? It's almost at the 50% level of the entire move from the April lows. Is Netflix cheap? No, Netflix is not cheap. It's still trading at, I think, between a 40 and 50 forward PE. So by any means, Netflix is not cheap. But based on Netflix historically, how it's always been priced, this is the discount on Netflix. I hope that makes sense. Do other data coming out? Next week we have FOMC. Yes. JD, i.e. Jingdong, I think has a really good setup here. I agree with you, Oleg. Also, I do think that the Chinese stocks are going to have a really nice winter because we all know that the Trump and China deal is going to get worked out, and Trump and Xi are going to have a love fest before Christmas. And I think that JD here is in a very nice setup, and it's coiling. It's also, if you believe in the Chinese numbers, JD is undervalued, right? I did a whole breakdown on JD in the Discord. Where the hell is the Discord? I did a whole breakdown of JD in here. A whole thesis looking at all of the numbers, etc. But yeah, if you believe in those numbers, which I don't know how accurate Chinese accounting is, but if you believe in those numbers, JD is extremely undervalued. Its market cap is equivalent. Its current market cap is equivalent to its revenues, which is crazy. There aren't many stocks like that on the market. And the setup looks prime, right? It broke out of this long-term downtrend and retested that downtrend. But obviously Chinese stocks right now are coiling, because if you look at BABA, same thing, right? Chinese stocks right now are coiling, and I think that they will have a nice run-up in the winter. On Alibaba, by the way, this right here is a major resistance level. and we are now, it looks like pre-market, we are heading above it. So if we break above it, then I think Alibaba has a path to 220. But I don't think, I think that China deal is vital for China, and I think it's vital for the US. I don't think that there's any way that China or the US can do without a deal. The market opens in 3 minutes, guys. I'm going to take a long at some point here, potentially. We have bullish divergence once again. I want to see what happens, like where we manipulate to at the open. Market opens in 1 minute, guys. I can't short this just yet because ES is holding up. Fuck, the risk reward is so bad on this. Maybe I'll take it in ES. All right. I didn't get filled on NQ. I mean on ES. We just took data high. And ES didn't. Isn't it better to long ES given it's a stronger pair? NQ is stronger. I'm not sure why you think ES is stronger. Look at NQ. ES is not even up there. Up 21% on the iron calls. All right, we're now at all-time highs on NQ and ES. Those iron calls are printing like crazy. But we still need to close above the 8 EMA on iron. And I don't think that, I think the market, now that we took data high, I think the market can go for data low. I did manage to catch one contract in NQ. Even though it was suboptimal, I was trading it like a scalp. But let's see if we can get a broad trade. Now that we have SMT divergence. If ES takes all-time high, then this is off the table. Otherwise, I think we can get a short down to data low. Let's see if we can get a broad trade here. How come ES and MES have different data high price? Because they are different instruments that have different liquidity. So they try to trade at exact parity, but that can't happen realistically. So they will slightly differ. I would say if you are trading MES, also have the ES chart next to you and chart off of ES. I'm looking at something like this. But I need ES to not take data high. Do you think this will tank before Powell speaks? Powell doesn't speak. Do you think we are in a recession? I think we're in some kind of recession, but not one that's recognized. 9:45, we do have PMI and consumer sentiment at 10. So data is not over today. Is there an age for hoodies? What does that mean, bro? We have news in 1 minute and then in 15 minutes. I want to see if we could take out 8:30 low. But if, like I said, if ES takes out this high, then for now the short is not likely. So let's see. I don't want to see ES take out this high. Hell yeah. Another 8% day for iron. VIX finally crushed. To me, this right here is a signal that most likely the volatility for this month is over. If we close here. Already longed NQ for a scalp to data high. Core weave looks really good here. We need to get above the 21 EMA, the 21 and 8 EMA. Yeah, if Baba closes here, then I think there might be a long in play. I might take December calls. Beautiful breakout on Dell. I think this likely goes to 175-ish. We've been in Dell since August. Why would MES sweep data high, but ES didn't? The prices and percentages are the same. Dude, they're two different instruments with two different sets of traders, right? This isn't a video game. It's not that ES and MES are robotically and programmatically going to have the same prices. People are trading thousands of contracts every second. So while there are attempts to maintain parity and limit arbitrage opportunities, they're different. So there will be, especially in high volume moments like data, there's going to be slight differences in ticks. All right, let's see if we bounce off this. Or do we confirm a short down to 830? Let's see if we bounce off this, or do we close below it? Something like that. There's only 302 likes and 7,500 people have watched so far. Guys, hit that thumbs up. I already gave you a trade idea. And it did hit data high. Do you think the October pullback's pretty much done? Yes. Do you still like path? Let's see what the momentum looks like. I will like it more if we break out of this. So, yes. But I will like it more if we break out of this. I think right now the momentum's with the data centers. Once again, what do you see for Webull stock? What do you mean once again? I never reviewed it. What's your price target for Google? Been in since 140, and I'm happy. That's my price target. But I think it conservatively gets to 275, 300. Tommy Luck, appreciate your donation. TTD. I did a whole thesis on TTD like 3 weeks ago in the Discord. Can you give us an opinion on Oklo? Shit stock. Will run. Are you playing options today? If I see something. Do you like Cypher? I think you missed it. I think you missed the breakout on Cypher. But yes, I'm in both. $7 day yesterday, 10% day today. JD already went over it. No confirmation here yet, guys. So leaps it is for TTD. That's how you decide with your hard-earned money. What do you think of TTD? I did a thesis on TTD 3 weeks ago. Leaps it is. That's how you decide? Man, this is why most people in the market, most people who try the market get cooked. Will you have a Black Friday discount like Lifetime? No, there's no more Lifetime. There will be likely a Black Friday promo, but not for Lifetime. As I told you guys, the last time that we did Lifetime, that was the last time we were ever going to do Lifetime. So you should join if that's what you want. Point was about Weeble that you might have missed. Dude, stop asking me about Weeble, bro. I'm not in Weeble. And no, Weeble is not going to run like Robinhood. They're very different companies. How's your trading during bear markets? We're not in a bear market, and we won't hit a bear market for a long time. NVIDIA looks interesting to me here. Above this level. If we close above 185, then I think NVIDIA can continue. This might finally be the breakout that takes us to 200. Look at AMD. I've been in AMD since like 114. I'm not buying AMD here, bro. Here. On June 13th, AMD was at 117. The thing is, trading options right now, everything is, all the premiums are juiced due to the pre-market bullishness. It's going to be very hard for you to trade options here on most things. I wonder if we get along on Meta now that we swept below yesterday's low. I'm going to look at Meta later today. Robinhood popped nicely from the daily fair value gap, likely going to 155. No confirmation yet here. What about purchasing puts? Yeah, bro. Go ahead. Buy puts. Full port puts right now. We're just chopping around here. Consumer sentiment comes out right now. Let's see if this pushes the market. But that right there is a data high as well, 945. Yeah, the trade is not validated yet. There's no confirmation yet. Would you consider Hive a good investment for the next 6 months? I don't think investments are 6 months. So, no. Appreciate you, Vet Power 23. Let's see if we get a breakout of path today. That would be splendid. If we finally get a breakout of this. Do you think gold will be going back to all-time highs? Gold looks exhausted, to be honest. So it might, but it looks exhausted. Guys, months, 2 months, 1 month, these are not investments. You have to separate trading from investing. HBO is going up. What isn't going up? What about silver? I talked about silver. Yeah, I'm not looking for a broad short on NQ. I think that's suicide. The market is clearly bullish, and you don't want to go against that. It would just be a short if confirmed. It's not confirmed. It would just be a short to data low. I'm not bearish on the market, and I don't think it's smart to be in this moment. Is shutdown affecting trading in India? Wrong person to ask, bro. You tell me. Do you ever buy SQQQ in anticipation of market crashing? No. That's a horrible strategy. Look at SQQQ. It's a perpetually going down inverse ETF because of NAV decay. So it continues to have to do reverse splits. There's no way you should be holding this. All right. Let's see if path breaks out here. It's been teasing for quite a while. And I'm currently in a down position on path. It's a small position, but I want to see. I want to see it break out. Okay, so NQ took out data highs once again. So it took out the 9:45 PMI candle, the 10 a.m. candle, which was consumer sentiment, and ES still left the CPI candle behind. So far, I only took a scalp on NQ to data high. Google took off. Everything's taking off, bro. Everything. All-time high price action. Test your patience. Okay. How about just look at your portfolio? There. Frustration gone. I'm looking at my portfolio right now, all-time high once again. How would that frustrate you? Amazing. Amazon breaking out here. It reports earnings obviously next week. Meta at a standstill. See, a lot of these things that are up today, you cannot chase them today. But if you were set up the last couple of weeks, then you're banking today, right? And all of these things, IREN, CoreWeave, CIFR, these are all things, Google, Dell, these are all things that we've been in for a while, both in terms of shares and in terms of options. So you're only frustrated today if you're not set up because you don't know what to chase. But these are all things that we've been in. Like I said, IREN right here, 10/21/25. That was 3 days ago that we set this play up. So today you're looking at it and it's very hard to chase, but if you're already in it, you're banking. Very interesting on Intel. It reported earnings yesterday. It gapped up today and looks like there's some profit taking. You've been calling Dell and Google for weeks? Yeah, Google for both Dell and Google for months. But I'm talking about shorter term stuff like Hood, IREN, CoreWeave. Still underwater on Path, but it's making a nice recovery today. And if it breaks out of this, then I think Path continues up. Are there any names you're interested in that are not running today? Yeah, I mean, if you join the Discord, you'll get everything that I'm looking at every day. It's that simple. But I'm certainly interested in Meta. You obviously have a tail risk because of earnings next week. So it's not a quote unquote safe play. To be honest, but it's good for a long-term hold, but it's not a safe short-term play in my opinion, because you also have a lot of implied volatility baked into those calls. I think gold, like I said at the beginning of the stream, gets to that daily fair value gap up there. Holy shit, these IREN calls. I did not realize how much they were up. All right. I guess there's, for now, on the indices, there is no day trade yet. Oh, what a breakout. Please close above this. I bought this back when it tested 1590, and then it dropped all the way down to the 21 EMA at 1470. Now it's back up to 1630. In terms of a silver short, not yet. I posted this in the Discord swing trades yesterday, but I'm waiting for it to get a little bit higher towards that $50 mark. And then I might take another short on silver. For now, I've just been day trading it short. For those of you that just joined, we're doing a 2-day live options and futures trading accelerator on November 9th and 10th. Now, you can only get it's free, but you can only get access to this if you register. It's the pinned comment in the chat, or it's the pinned chat message in the YouTube chat. But one day we're going to focus on options. The other day we're going to focus on futures. So make sure you click on that link or go to thetravelingtrader.com and register. November 9th and 10th. You should get yourself set up for the new year if you wanted to take your trading to the next level. Uh, damn. Up 70% on Goog. We sold a bunch of CSPs, cash secure puts recently. Wow, what a day, bro. What a day. I want to see if we can catch the pullback today to low. We still have this divergence, by the way. Like I said, I'm not overly bullish, but I just want to see if we can catch the retracement. And I'm likely going to do it on ES, which is the S&P 500. Let's see if we get a confirmation close here. I think we might. Already have one nice win on the day. Let's see if you can pick up a second one. The first trade of the day was on NQ. This candle closes in 45 seconds. No, don't go up, dude. Gotta be patient. Annoying. Nothing. All right. I wonder if there's a long on gold from here. Oh, we did close below. Let's see if we get a short down to $8.30. I think there might be a long on gold too. So 2-to-1 is right here. And at that point, I'll likely start trailing my stop. And if we get down to this low, I'll move my stop to break even. Because at that point, that'll be 1.5 to 1. Beautiful move. Let's see if we get continuation. We're right now at 9:30 open, which is a strong level. And we have bullish divergence there. We need NQ to continue down. Yeah, I don't want to see this bullish divergence here. I want NQ to get below 932 because you do have this bullish divergence now. There is something to be said about potentially moving a break even here. Only because if we close above this 1 minute, we could V-shape up once again. We need to see a rejection here. Yeah, because if this closes, then I think this is just all the retracement we're going to get for now until the PM session. So we need to reject from here. So I don't mind putting my stop there, actually. Yeah, we need NQ to fall below 930, and then I think we get the win. I think we get the win. Wow, what a ripper, guys! Google all-time high, AMD all-time high. Yeah, I think Tesla's going to be wedged in here for a minute. I would not long Tesla until it breaks out of here. No. The hell was that? Yeah, I think that might have been the retracement for the AM. Let's see if we get it in the PM. All right. Break even. I didn't feel like scalping that, to be honest. I wanted a bigger move. Yeah, I think that this sets up path for, if we close above this and we don't wick and come back down, I think this sets up for a move to the $20 target, which was the last resistance above this from May 2024. Hive has a similar pattern, but I think the setup on path is better. Because this is a bull flag, already filled the gap, already above the EMAs. Huge buy volume, not a lot of sell volume, and a clear target up here. All right. I think on the indices, we will likely find something in the PM. I don't think that I'm okay with the break even there. We're clearly bullish. You cannot force bearish trades during a bullish environment. And I think that that was the retracement for the AM session. If the VIX can close below that 1620 range today, then I think this volatility crush is pretty much it. We could get some jitters around earnings in China, but it's a pretty definitive statement in my opinion. Kosuke Harada donated $10 to St. Jude. Appreciate you, bro. You have a second shot at London close? No idea what you mean. Why you prefer JD over Baba or Baidu? I didn't tell you that. Thanks for the stream. Could you care to share what gave you confirmation to enter a short? Well, honestly, it turned into a scalp, but the confirmation, like I didn't take profits. I let it, at break even or take profit. I wasn't going to take a scalp for $300, but yeah, it was the fact that ES didn't take data high, NQ did. That left behind bearish divergence. And then we closed below a 3-minute order block. And so I was hoping to get continuation down. But the reason that I knew to get out of it as well is because we then made a lower low on ES and a higher low on NQ. And on the 1 minute, we inversed this fair value gap. So that told me that we were likely going to V up. I don't think we get a retracement until maybe the PM session or closer to lunch, but hopefully that helps. It keeps messing with my OCD that you don't show the top of your screen. I don't know what to tell you. Anonymous, appreciate your donation to St. Jude. Thank you. Elliott wave? No, not my thing. SPY is dropping puts. Not how it works, bro. That's how you get burned. Are you in Marvell? Yeah. You guys know I'm in Marvell. Do you just eyeball SMTs? Yeah, you can easily spot them. No, this is not an indicator. I drew this. I mean, it doesn't take... You don't need an indicator to determine that this is a lower low and this is a higher low. I mean, a lower high and this is a higher high. Like, your eyes should be able to tell you that. Nick Daniel, appreciate it. Can't see the top of the screen. How the heck can we see what you're trading? Because it's right fucking here. ES, NQ. I'm also routinely telling you ES or NQ. Also, you could see the price. Do you use level 2 or bookmap? No, I personally don't need it for my strategy. I just look at price action. Nick Daniel, appreciate it, man. Your thoughts on MSTR? I don't have thoughts on MSTR besides it'll follow Bitcoin and will likely rally when Bitcoin rallies in the winter. Need to get back above 85 on Marvell. Appreciate you, Dav ACH or Dav AC. Thank you. As your account size changes, do you adjust your risk tolerance per trade? If you're a beginner, then you should have a fixed percentage amount as a risk per trade. So, you would risk 0.5% or 1% of your portfolio on each trade. If you are more advanced, then you can throw a more nuanced layer on top of your trades and know that some trades are worth risking more on. I would not suggest that you do that if you're still a beginner. You don't yet have the skills, and I don't say this disrespectfully. I mean it with the utmost respect, but you don't yet have the skills or experience to determine what's a fantastic trade from a generally normal trade. So in the beginning, I would say keep it fixed percentage. And if your account grows, the nominal amount of money risked per trade will grow. If your account decreases, the nominal amount of money will decrease, but the percentage will be the same. Juan, appreciate your donation, bro. Thank you for always donating. Ivan, thank you, bro. And Anonymous, thank you for your donation as well. You are a good watch. Appreciate you. Is there a video I can watch to better spot SMT? Just higher high, lower high, higher low, lower low. You don't need a video. But I'm sure you can Google SMT. The internet is your oyster, my friend. You're like Mitch Ray. Who the hell is Mitch Ray? Is some actor or something? Mitch Ray. Bro, I've never heard of this guy. But thank you, I guess. Any chance you change your mind on Lifetime? No. I was trying to think of an annoying question. I came up with this. What stock should I invest in today? I think you should invest in, let me think, Peloton. Yeah. So here, let me think like how retail traders think. Peloton was trading at 170. It is now 7. What a bargain. If I buy Peloton, I will be up 2,000%. Time to buy Peloton. See? That is next level DD right there. Peloton is your next pick. And that only goes to whoever asked me. I'm coming for the first time. Bro, pause. Shuyani, I'm coming for the first time. I don't want to know, bro. Kenny Ken, appreciate your donation. Vu Trong, appreciate you, bro. Have you ever looked at how much was raised in total this year? For St. Jude? No, I haven't looked this year. Ooh, this might be the second opportunity here. Let's see. So we went back up for a little more liquidity. And then just inversed the 3-minute fair value gap. NQ is now weaker, actually. So on ES, we just inversed the fair value gap, and we got a 3-minute CISD on NQ. And we are in the 1050 macro. So I want to see if we get a retracement down. Let's see if our patience pays off here. I want to take out that low. Go to at least that low. I booked about 1200 earlier on NQ. The thing is, this might just chop around until the PM. I'm not willing to risk more than one contract on it. But 830 low is still untested, guys. Yeah, there is bullish SMT with ES until that low is taken, which I think will happen, and it just fucking happened. We just don't need there to be bullish SMT with this. Jeez, no follow through today. Still valid if we create a 5-minute fair value gap here and retrace up. And now we have equal lows on NQ. That's cute. I just don't want to chop around all day. Do you still see momentum to the downside? Dude, this is just a tiny trade. No, obviously we're still very bullish today. This is so we really just been chopping around since like 9:30. NQ is now below 9:30. ES is a little stronger, but this should push down. and NQ should go for these equal lows here. What will cause a sell-off today with SPY institutional sellers? Dude, this is not a sell-off. This is 20 points on ES. This may seem big to you because it's a 5-minute chart. This is like a tiny range. If you look at the daily or the 4-hour. I don't know. This is not an institutional sell-off. We're just talking about 20 points. Okay, but you get where I was going, right? No, not at all, actually, to be honest with you. All right, we let this play out here. Let's see if we get the second trade of the day to go. Yeah, Tesla's still trading here in a range. They already reported earnings. I would not be surprised to test the low 400s once again. Hmm. All right. I don't know how much follow through and how fast we'll get a follow through before the PM session. So I'm just going to leave this be. Yeah, even gold and silver are not moving right now. When investing long term, do you try to time when to add money to it? To what? An investment? Yeah, of course. It's based on my reading of the chart. Head and shoulders. What are you talking about? CRM looks interesting here. When does it report earnings? Oh, not until December 9th. I wonder if this is finally the breakout for CRM. Like, is it better to just add a monthly at the same rate, or do you just try to pick your spot? I know how to do technical analysis, so I pick my spots. If you don't, then you should just dollar cost average. You'll probably be better off than trying to pick your spots with no experience. All right. So all of the things that we're swing trading, Path, IREN, CIFR, AMD, CoreWeave, all looking really good today. On the day trade tip, I just longed NQ to data high. I don't think there are a ton of day trades right now. I'm in this ES here with one contract. But I don't think there are a ton of day trades right now. NQ weaker than ES here now. I think there are some pretty good investments still. Not pretty good, but okay. Amazon, maybe Netflix. Not a whole lot here, but I do think that November and December are setting up to be pretty strong months, and there are a lot of setups to ride in the short term. I wonder if Robinhood goes back up today off of the opening print. All right, guys. Appreciate you. Hopefully at the open or around the open, you guys made some money on NQ longs. For those of you in the Discord, congrats. I know you guys are up big today as the portfolio hit another all-time high. Swing trades working like crazy. I'm going to stay in this short here with one contract. See if we can write it down to about 8:30. Would not be surprised if we chop around here until lunch or PM. If you want to trade live with me every single day, join the Discord below. You also get access to all of the swings that we're currently in and up big time. And make sure you sign up for this 2-day live event. It's going to be hours each day. One day is going to focus on options. The other day is going to focus on futures, November 9th and 10th. You have to be on the list. Either go to thetravelingtrader.com or click the first chat comment in the YouTube stream. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. For those of you in the Discord, I'll see you in a bit.